see how these headphones work with my wig.
Can you hear us, Mark?
I can hear you. Are we live streaming this podcast, or we're just talking?
We are going to live stream it, so the audience gets to see our switch over and the informal portion of the show.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've watched this before. I watched you guys do this before.
Well, thank you. Shout out to It's Your Boy Khaled for being a new subscriber. If you did just subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitch, or like us on Facebook, let us know so we can give you a shout out too.
Thanks,
What's
guys.
up, Nate? Interesting conversations going on over here on Facebook.
On Facebook is where she go to follow the conversation here.
Yes, we've got some friends over on Twitch as well. Hey, Daniel, Green Eggs and Spam.
Don't cross your streams. That's the old Ghostbusters joke. Excited to have you guys here. We have Mark Chessler from Vimeo with us today, and he's going to join us on the podcast.
Hi guys, I'll stop being rude and away my phone trying to get your Facebook group up.
Oh, it's fine. Go for it.
How's everyone doing today?
We're doing great.
Fantastic.
Excited that it's Halloween.
Yeah, so you guys take the kids out, take the family out trick or treating, right? And do all that.
Of course. My son wants to be Batman and a fireman. He was Batman for his school parade this morning, but tonight he wants to be Batman fireman, if that's even possible. We're going to try.
Yeah, so what's it going to be then?
Well, we already have a fireman costume because he just loves fireman stuff. So I guess I'm just going to try and put the jacket and the hat on top of his Batman costume and see if it works. Whatever keeps the kid happy.
At least people will know what he is.
Just give him a lot of candy. It's Halloween.
He wants me to just layer different costumes on him.
He wants to be layered.
He might be a clown under that. Who knows?
Mark, can I get an audio check from you real quick?
I'm interested to know about...
Test 1 2, test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Glad I did that. I forgot to send you to the podcast.
I'm just going to do this.
We're getting, they say echo on guest.
Okay.
Echo? Is it me? Is it maybe me? Or is it...
It's mostly, most likely our mix. So we just probably have to turn off an audio source from your input or something like that.
Because I'm running blue snowball mic. So.
I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah, I'm sure you're fine.
Paul's just going to configure it.
Okay.
He's just going to see if there's any ghosts.
I can't tell
going around in the live stream.
If that's your wig or balloon when I look at this.
At me in general?
Yeah.
My head is one balloon. Okay.
Can everybody hear Mark? I just want to double check.
Yeah, let us know in the chat.
We should be good. I just want to double check. And we'll bring Mark in.
I'm sure you're fine. Well. Muted on here. Make sure I'm muted. There we go. Okay.
Our chat room never fails to help us out when we got something going on.
Should be this. All right, cool.
Oh, good.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're good to go.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Let's start it
We're
up.
gonna start recording the podcast.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PTZOptics post-show podcast.
Happy Halloween.
Ooh.
We got a special guest from Livestream Vimeo.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the post-show podcast with your hosts, Paul Richards, Tess Protesto, and Michael Luttermoser. Let's talk shop.
Sorry.
You're messing with me.
No, we should have warned you.
Yeah, we had an intro.
I haven't routed all of the post-show, all of the podcast sound effects to your audio bus. Sorry, so you didn't hear that. We have Mark Chessler here from Livestream Vimeo, joining us remotely. By the way, Mark, this is the first time we've ever had a remote guest join our podcast that wasn't actually in the studio. So this is awesome.
Really? I'm so honored.
We are so happy to have you. And I guess let's just start by asking you, who you are, where are you right now in this world, and tell us a little bit about your role at Livestream Vimeo.
Sure. So my name is Mark Chessler. I am the director of channel management for Vimeo. I'm in New York City on the Upper West Side, the heart of the media world, so to speak. And I have been with Vimeo since March. So Vimeo acquired Livestream back in October of 2017. And as part of that acquisition, they were relatively new to the live streaming space, but they were also new to the professional video hardware space. And I have worked for the last 6 or 7 years prior to this as a partner manager for a company here in New York called T2 Computing that does a lot of systems integration for broadcast and media post-production and live, etc. So I had some experience, and that's where I am. Now I'm here.
Very cool. And so to set the stage, I always like to set the stage for the podcast because we have listeners from all different backgrounds, potentially not in the streaming and broadcast market necessarily. Although I did read something I wanted to share with everybody. I was reading Inc.com, and they said those who are technically inclined in their work generally make 6 times their counterparts that are not technically inclined, and generally are employed for at least a year longer on average. But that's kind of obvious, technically inclined people. I just thought a lot of our viewers are probably technically inclined.
Some of that money.
Yeah, show me where is this?
Where's the money?
But anyway, I want to set the stage. Live stream, I'm guessing, has been around for as long as I've known. I've been in the industry for about 10 years.
Well, yeah, so it's been about 10 years, actually, over 10 years.
And you guys live stream just exploded into the market. Enterprise level content delivery network, doing everything from, you guys are famous for the New Year's Eve ball drop in New York City. And then from there, just all kinds of high-end broadcasts. Somebody told me you guys were doing like hundreds of broadcasts every week. Now you're probably in charge of thousands. But fast forward to 2017, and the company is purchased by Vimeo, who is probably even more well-known in the world of online video, but not necessarily for live streaming, more for a premium YouTube is what I call it. And I don't know.
Sure.
You can kind of fill in some of the gaps there.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've always been known as. But one of the things that has that we've been building over the past few years, and especially under our current CEO Anjali Sood, who is really guiding us in a new direction, is that Vimeo has always been the place where content creators go to distribute their content, but they also use it for other things, right? So, they've been using it for review and approvals and things like that are part of the back end operations of how they create content. So we actually view ourselves as a creator platform. And so the acquisition of Livestream and the move into live was really just a way of expanding our reach to different types of video content creators. Right. So we've already got the people that are creating premium video content, and we've got the tools that we're providing them. We've now expanded to offer the live side of it, right? Which is one piece of it. But then we also have Vimeo OTT for, the way that I like to phrase it, and I'm by no means an expert at it, but Vimeo OTT is a platform for these content creators to take all the great content that they've created and bundle it into their own HBO Go or Showtime type of app and monetize it, right? Or not monetize if they don't want to, but at least have it in an app form, right? in a branded format. So there's that piece of it as well. There's the back end of Vimeo, some of the things that we're doing there with the premium content, ways that different ways that content creators can manage their content more effectively, especially if they're using it for to as a livelihood. And then the latest one that we just announced a few weeks ago is Vimeo Stock. And the interesting thing about Vimeo Stock is that we looked around and we saw that we have all this great content on our platform. We have all these great content creators. Let's give them another way to monetize that content. And what does everyone need? They need stock footage. But what sets us apart is that we're creator first, right? So up to 70% of the cost of the stock footage goes to the content creator. So, which is unusual.
That provided the footage.
The people that provide the footage get up to 70%. So you go and buy a piece of stock footage for whatever the amount is. 70 up to 70% of that is going to the content creator.
Nice. That's awesome.
I really like, and so what I'm hearing here is this like Goldilocks situation where you've already got the content creators on the platform. Now, I'm guessing, Vimeo is a lot smaller than YouTube, but you have the content creators that are really almost going a step beyond YouTube. My thoughts on Vimeo are that this is where you go when you really care about the details and the different things, like you said, the reporting, the analytics, the control that Vimeo offers. So you already have this huge, network of really the higher end creator, video centric creators. And it's interesting because our business, we're always trying to talk to these video creators. Are they interested in live streaming? Yes, they are, but they want more control. Maybe they want their own app. I'm sure you're working with some very interesting content creators that are almost their own little networks, if you will. And
correct.
Now you're bringing in enterprise level live streaming platform under the umbrella. So and from what I'm seeing here, and I'd love for you to explain the Vimeo live streaming options in a little more detail, you're taking one of the higher end content creator groups and giving them really high end premium live streaming capabilities in this world. And it may sound a little crazy in the world of YouTube live streaming that's free and Facebook live streaming that's free, but the over the top, you mentioned OTT content creator world is like becoming really popular. I've heard crazy numbers in the billions of dollars of what they think this market's going to be worth. And it becomes a really attractive way to monetize, if you are a content creator. And I think, Mark, it's even beyond just a content creator. I think we're talking about groups of people, companies of people. Maybe the YouTube content creator is not exactly who we're talking about. We're talking about small production companies and groups of companies who have business plans, who are thinking about rolling out an app that you have to pay for. And that's the kind of space I think that you guys seem to be really positioning yourselves for. I don't know if you can give us maybe a background on this OTT, over the top market, because I think a lot of people don't even know it's there.
So what I would say is I'm not really deeply involved with the Vimeo OTT side of the business. However, if you go to Vimeo.com, it's really self-explanatory. If you go onto the website and you look at the OTT offering, you can get set up today. You can go online and start doing it today and start your own channel, right? It's that simple. And then we have what sets it apart, though, is that we have, once you start going, once you sign up for it, we have a team of people that can walk you through and explain to you the different options that you have and help you get going and build the application the way that you want to build it. So it's a very well thought out platform. And it's a platform that is, that we want to make sure that they get the best possible service from us in terms of getting this going. Now, the one thing I would say though is that the great thing is you can do live from our OTT platform, right? So that is an option as part of the OTT. The other piece of it, though, too, that I wanted to make sure that was clear is that Vimeo is still a destination, but we don't see ourselves as just being a destination, right? We see ourselves as being the platform that gets you out to other platforms, that gives you the tools to effectively get out to other platforms and create amazing content. So whether it be live stream or Vimeo, one of the most important things that I think either platform offers on the live side is the ability to simulcast, right? And that's built right in. The idea that, that we want you to be able to simulcast. We don't, you can choose to live stream to our platform and have that be the end destination and then embed to your website. Or you can go out to YouTube, you can go out to Facebook, you can go out to Twitch, to Periscope, to any RTMP destination that you want without any hassle or problem. Right. And the thing on the Vimeo side as well is that we want you to be able to put all the content that you put on Vimeo. We want you to push it out to YouTube. We want you to be able to push it out wherever you want it, wherever your audience is.
It's almost like because I'm reading some of the, you have your Plus, your Pro, your business, and your premium plans. It's almost like come to Vimeo to get the business going, because we need to have a business plan here. We need to be able to sell access to the content in order to monetize it. And that's a huge hole. YouTube, the only way to monetize your content is to show ads on top of it, which is very difficult for the smaller content creators to make any money that way. But I'm guessing with Vimeo, you're hitting a sweet spot here where the smaller, medium-sized companies, businesses, even if you were like a video production person, I always think of Ryan Brenneman, who I know is very interested in this platform and one of our customers. Small video production team goes out and live streams events for people. And I could imagine some of his customers going to them and saying, hey, how would you like to sell access to the live stream? How can we make this monetizable? And that's a huge conversation. And I understand you're not in charge of that portion of Vimeo. I'd love to talk to somebody in more detail about that on a next show, because the monetization part of it, now I'm starting to realize that's one of the big value adds, besides the fact that you're becoming the hub that can get you to YouTube, Facebook, and other places. But the distribution and marketing and business plan, like you mentioned, the app and all of that other stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, you bring up a good point about the fact that to make any money on YouTube is extremely difficult. And Vimeo has never been the place where, we wanted to be driven by advertising revenue and wanted you to be creating content based on advertising revenue, right? We want to offer you the option to go to YouTube where you can do that if you choose to. But Vimeo has always been about, putting your content out in the format that you want to put it out in, right? And not having to worry about advertising dollars, not having to worry about pre-roll ads and things like that if you don't want to.
Yeah, Nate in the chat just said that it's also great for large businesses that simply don't want ads in their videos.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're a business, why would you want someone else's advertising on your in front of your video, right? And the same thing goes for live as well. Why would you want to have advertising in front of your live stream if you're a corporation, right? So that's why we don't do advertising. Now, the one thing I will add to this as well is some people do want the advertising, and with the live stream enterprise platform, which is our higher end streaming platform, you can put Google pre-roll advertising in.
I thought that was so interesting. And something we mentioned earlier on, and I don't think we got a chance to talk about this yet, Mark, is there's a lot of features inside Livestream Studio that I don't think everybody knows how to use. And I know some of those features are specific to the Livestream content delivery network, which is still kind of separate from Vimeo.
But most of them are not, actually. The only one that really is the Google advertising. Is the Google pre-roll advertising. The one that I love to show people is the crop to 4K, right? So,
that one was cool.
Yeah, and I think that especially if you have a 4K camera and you want it to remain stationary, or you don't want to mess around with it, but you want to be able to quickly do what appears to be different shots, right? You can do up to 4 different shots within from that one camera. Right. So that's a nice, and it's simple to do. It's not like it's something that's really deeply hidden in in a layer of menus. The other thing that I love is we have a lot of people. You mentioned that everyone from small businesses, small content creators to large corporations are live streaming. And what I find is that, even the large corporations, you may have the communications person, the marketing person running the live stream. They don't necessarily have someone that's a broadcast engineer that understands sort of the paradigm of a standard switcher setup. And so they have an option to go into simple mode, which is really just a very simplified view. The top image is your your program, what's going out to the stream. And then there are a bunch of tabs on the bottom to run you through all the different things that you need to set up, and a bunch of little preview windows to show you different camera angles. And you click on it, boom, and you're one of those previews, they transition to the main program. So I think that one of the things that we're trying to do is provide a tool that is simple enough for a beginner to use, but flexible enough that if you have some experience and you want to grow, you can do it. And does it have every feature that maybe like some of the higher end systems have? No, but I think that we add them in as we see that they fit with the idea of keeping it as simple as possible, but allowing people to create a professional broadcast.
Yeah, we got a question from Dan Slider in the chat. Does Vimeo allow you to embed video on your own website like YouTube does? Which I believe you mentioned that they do.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Awesome.
It does.
Very cool feature there.
Yeah, and the other thing Ryan Brenneman in our chat room is mentioning as well is that there is the ability to add a logo that's clickable as a link in Livestream Studio. So there's these things where you can really customize the browser. Like YouTube, if you click that YouTube browser, it's taking you to YouTube, right? And there's nothing you can do with that browser. But when you start to getting into custom content delivery networks like Livestream, you get a lot more options there, and we really think that that's a cool way to add that feature.
Absolutely, and I think that's the benefit to it. That we give you a little bit more flexibility, especially we have the premium plan, which is our entry plan, which gives you a lot of flexibility. Then we have the enterprise plan for larger organizations that require more privacy features and security and things like geo-blocking, domain restrictions, and the white labeling, right? The white labeling of the embed. So yeah, we definitely offer those options. Yeah, it's really a very good platform.
And this conversation is very timely because we have promised our audience, and we get so many questions about how do I monetize my content. And from a Vimeo side, I'd love to talk to someone on the specific Vimeo kind of business plan side as well. But it sounds like you guys are really laying down the roadmap for content creators to say, hey, guys, look, if you want to have your own app that you charge monthly for, here's how you do that. If you want to charge for your live streaming, here's how you can do this. If you still want to, like, for example, one of the things I think that is great for live streaming, specifically if you want to monetize, and I love that you got the things I'm hearing here, is that, like, let's say you want to live stream an event, you want to sell virtual tickets. Well, you should still leverage YouTube and Facebook to a point to get those audiences revved up. So it's great that Vimeo allows you to be a hub to stream to YouTube and Facebook for the red carpet or the pre-show or a behind the scenes look. But when it comes time to pay for that concert ticket that you've just been behind the scenes for, it's you need to be able to do that as well. And so you're allowing them to kind of really have that full opportunity to monetize things, because that's what I worry about with some of these content delivery networks, is that, all right, you have to go here, you have to pay, and that's not a great way to sell something.
Right. Absolutely. So the other thing I wanted to add to this too, that I'm seeing a lot of, which I think is very interesting, is sort of tying in the conversation about our studio and the hardware and the platform, is that in terms of live streaming events, I think that there's this idea that like you said, that there's the event and that's what you stream, but there's also all this extra stuff going on, right? So a great example of this is a lot of sports teams right now are using either our Mevo camera, which is our consumer grade camera that allows you to live stream from a single camera and allows you to select different angles and things like that, much like our crop to 4K. But they're also using like our HD 550, which is our portable encoder and switcher, and then they are going live on with interviews with the players on the sidelines pre-game or during practice, and live streaming that. And the great thing is that it doesn't require their broadcast engineers to do it, right? It's just their communications person and one or two people working the cameras going ahead and setting this up and doing, and creating that extra content that gets people excited about the main event.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions that I think maybe Tess can run us through, but I totally agree. I have one special feature in live stream I want to talk about, but let's answer some questions first, Tess.
Okay, Elmbridge is looking to remotely control and stream from New York to London. Ooh. Looking to run a remote radio station with PTZ, but I need to control the PTZ from internet, say 10 megabits.
So one thing I will say is, and I'm not sure about the latency of going from New York to London. And we do have a feature called web control within Livestream Studio that over, through your Chrome browser, you can click on a link and you can send a link to the remote person, and they can operate Studio remotely through the browser. With very low latency generally, but I've mostly tested it, within the same room on the same network. But it can work, intra-network between different, locations. Not sure how what the latency would be in London, between London and New York, but it can be done.
And clarifying Dan's question, so you can embed video onto your website with Vimeo, but a live stream video as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I know firsthand because I did it. I tested it myself. So
there's another feature that Ryan Brenneman's bringing up that I definitely am interested in myself, which is the ability to pull in an RTMP feed. So this is something that's really unique. It is not inside many live streaming software. It requires a little bit of a custom setup, I understand, but you can bring in an RTMP video feed directly into Livestream Studio. And for those of you who maybe are a little bit non-technical, what does that mean? You could have a live stream backpack, a live view backpack, live streaming RTMP directly back to your computer and ingest a stream from anywhere in the world. And maybe that's how you would do it from New York or from London, right? You could stream directly back.
We also have RTSP as well, RTSP support too.
Yeah, RTSP for local area networks, and then RTMP for generally coming from outside your network back in. And I love that feature because, we have to use a cloud-based server to do that right now. And it's pretty good. And I love the pricing too. Your pricing is very competitive on the Windows side, but the Mac side, you must for it's $7.95 for Windows, but for Mac, you must be a member of the Vimeo business plan.
So basically there's a few different ways you can go at it. You can go at it with if you want the features, if you want the enterprise class features of live stream, if you need sort of the back end reliability and backbone of live stream, right? So you can go with the premium plan, which is $900 a year, works out to be about $75 a month. Or you can go with with our enterprise plan, which is $12,000, but gives you a lot more features, and that's really that's really designed for corporate customers and bigger houses of worship and bigger school districts, etc. There is the Vimeo Live plan on the other side of the aisle there, which is also $75 a month and gives you different types of features than the live stream premium plan, but it also does allow you to all those plans allow you to download either the Windows version or the Mac version. For and that license is active for the term of your subscription. So as long as you have
that is pretty nice, because then you can. If you're interested at all in Vimeo Live or the live stream platform, you're basically giving them the software for free.
Basically, exactly. If you're going to be doing it anyhow, if you're using the platform anyhow, you get the software for free. Right. If you don't want to use, but then by the same token, if you don't want to use our platform, you don't have to. Right. So then that's when you say, I'm going to get the Windows software, or I'm going to buy the live stream hardware that has the software included on it and that is custom built to work with the software. And then you're not tied to us.
Yes.
But what we found, the interesting thing that we found is that a significant number of our customers that are on the live stream platform either started with the hardware, or when they started with the platform, they ended up getting the hardware because it just worked so well together.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. So it's an invitation to the ecosystem. I think you're going to do great with this Vimeo merger, where you've already got this captive audience of professional video production creators who are already thinking about ways to monetize their work, maybe get started live, maybe performing live streams for other people, maybe doing it for themselves, for their own content. I think that's great. Getting a couple more questions we can answer off the podcast, but I wanted to thank you so much for joining, Mark, and thank you for giving us all this great knowledge about the streaming industry.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure being on here because I've been watching you for a while, so it's fun to be on.
It's great to have you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we got it?
Okay, I did want to answer one question for Elmbridge Live, but I think it's been answered in the chat anyway. How long can an event last?
12-hour telethon event.
They have a 12-hour
as long as you want it to last.
Okay.
This is the beauty. So this is, by the way, this is the beauty of live stream, the platform. We don't penalize you for successful events. We don't penalize you. So you don't pay per viewer. You don't pay any overages per viewer. You don't pay. It's unlimited.
Wow.
We've had people stream 4K for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not. Our engineers probably hated that, but but it's something that you can do, right? So yeah, we do not put any limits on that.
It's interesting. You guys are the only content delivery network that I know that has their own streaming software and hardware.
So yeah, we're a one-stop solution, right? That's what really makes this very interesting, is that literally from the price point of $500, right, you can start off streaming with us, all the way up to, $10,000 for the hardware. Top price for hardware is $10,000, and then we offer the streaming platform, right? So we have something for all budgets, is basically what it comes down to.
Jolie McPhee, congratulations on your new PTZOptics 30x NDI camera. You may be excused.
Well, thanks again, Mark, for joining us today.
Well, this was actually
hang out.
This was really, really fun, and I appreciated all these great comments and questions. So hopefully I didn't give you any wrong answers. I'm just, always fearful that someone's going to say, you answered that one wrong. You could have answered it differently, but hopefully that would that work for everyone.
Do you listen to podcasts?
What's that?
Do you ever listen to a podcast?
Do I listen to a podcast? Any podcasts?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Okay, great. So I'll send you the link as soon as it gets up there. But that'll be that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And tonight, my kids, I'll make them sit and watch Daddy on YouTube.
Nice.
As they're counting their candy.
Well, have a great Halloween evening, and everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging out with us through the entirety of the show, and we hope that you have a great Halloween as well if you're celebrating in the U.S.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Alrighty, Michael.